Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got it. Okay, let's pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you so much for calling each one of us to this Bible study. We love the prophet Nehemiah and prophet Ezra. Thank you so much for teaching their spirit. Use your servant, missionary Nehemiah, share their story with your Holy Spirit, Lord, from the beginning to the end. Please be with us and please call further more people to join this Bible study, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I pray all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank
Amen.
you. Oh,
Yeah.
our General Jose is coming.
Oh, wow, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jose is working, so I think that
Yeah.
just after finishing, he is entering. Jose, how are you?
Hi, Shepherd. Hi,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you for joining.
Yeah.
What
Thank
time
Happy
you.
is
New
it
Year.
now in Texas?
Happy New Year. Yeah, it's 5
5
o'clock. 5 p.m.
o'clock. Okay, good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Today we'll study Nehemiah chapter 3 and 4. Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
Last week we studied Nehemiah chapter 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Nehemiah chapter 1 and 2
Mm-hmm.
so revealed plans. Nehemiah planned to go back to Jerusalem to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. He asked the king. The king agreed, so he came back to Jerusalem, and he saw that the ruins of the wall of Jerusalem. So he collected the people and he shouted, let's rise up and rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. So all the Israelites accepted his thought, and they began to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. Yeah. Today we'll study chapter 3 and 4. They began the work. However, there was the obstacles for reconstruction. There were two kinds of obstacles: inward obstacles and outward obstacles. Firstly, outwardly, the enemies threatened them not to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. It is the challenge for the king. So they wanted to distort the intention of the rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. However, Nehemiah did not hesitate. He went through. Yeah. So today we will study chapter 3. There were a few problems. The nobles of Tekoa did not want to work under supervisors. Most of the people joined in rebuilding ministry. However, the nobles of Tekoa did not join. Why do you think the noble class people did not join in this work? Mr. William, can you?
It's still same problem. The body, the physical, labor. Usually they think it's not my job. I can hire. I have money. So the low class people should do, not high class people. That kind of a mentality, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
They don't want to share the what is the sweat, labor pain, labor pain. They don't like to do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. They are very arrogant and
Oh yeah.
They want to enjoy privilege. They don't want to work.
Yeah.
They don't want to share sweat and tears. It's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, many localist people worked very hard and they
Yeah.
volunteered, but the noble class should show good example for the people.
Yeah. Yeah. As
But
a
the
leader.
leaders
Yeah.
did not. Leaders did
Yeah.
not.
Mm.
So it is more difficult to
Mm.
persuade nobility and high class people.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay. But on the other hand, in some families, even a father who had no son worked with his daughters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
In those days, those who have no son, they could be exceptional.
Mm.
But they worked very hard, even though
Oh.
they didn't have sons. With
Mm.
their own daughters, they worked very hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, amazing. So
Yeah.
human condition is not important.
Yeah. I
In the
face.
book of Judges, we can see some woman judges.
I see.
For example, Deborah.
Oh, Deborah. Wow, amazing. That's it.
I think that, Mr. William,
Yeah.
sometimes your wife is more powerful than you.
Oh, that's correct. That's yeah. I feel fear of her. I even feel fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
In the serving ministry,
I have to
is there
listen.
any conflict between you and your wife?
Yeah, there is.
Mm.
She's a hot temper. So. Oh my God.
How did you accept her and her
Oh,
character?
in the beginning, we fight and kind of, but later, Holy Spirit inspire me.
Oh, Holy Spirit.
Oh, help me to have a peace. Yeah, and then, her case is, even if she is angry, but it take time. More need just 15 minutes. If I am silent 15 minutes, it's okay.
You learned the secret.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. Holy Spirit teach me, taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah, peace. Wow.
No,
I
it's
could
not
have
a
peace
weak
in
point.
heaven.
I think that her strong point. Yeah.
Yeah,
And passion. She
yeah,
has a passion. Yeah. And great
yeah.
zeal.
She's truthful. She doesn't manipulate. That is the strong point. She doesn't lie.
She's
Even
pure.
if she's a hot temper, but she doesn't manipulate, deceiving. She doesn't like it.
Oh,
I
wow.
can see clearly what her opinion, her preference, which one she like. I clearly know that she like it, she doesn't like it. I clearly know because she is a hot temper. Yeah, I can expect. If I do this, she will be angry. No, I already knew. I can because of experience.
Yeah, you became a genius in
Yeah,
okay.
surviving.
Gloria,
Yeah.
in your
Yes.
family, who has the initiative between your father and mother in your family?
Like it depends, but I think it's my mom.
Your mom?
Yeah.
Wow. Your mom is more powerful than your father.
Yeah.
Kind of. I'm not sure.
Then is there any quarrel or fighting or
No.
no?
Oh.
Wow. Your husband, yeah, sorry. your father accept your mother's suggestion and style.
Yeah.
Wow, he's very wise, I think.
Yeah.
Uh, when I start my Forest Bible class, Gloria's mom, Deborah, your mom
Yeah.
is Deborah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Deborah. Her name is Deborah. Judge Deborah.
Wow. Oh my God. Same person.
She was very
Wow.
faithful. Yeah. So
Wow.
I am so grateful to Deborah.
Oh.
Yeah. And her husband name is Andrew.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah, it's good harmony, I think. Deborah and
diligent
Andrew.
person. Diligent. Andrew is diligent.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, Noah is coming.
Oh yeah.
Jose, General
Hi.
Jose,
Yes.
may I ask a question?
Yeah.
What kind of style do you like as your future wife?
Mm.
Aggressive or soft?
Soft.
Yeah.
Soft.
Do you want to have an
Aggressive.
initiative in dealing the works in your family?
I'll maybe, but I think I'll give it to God.
Mm,
God, yeah, God's decision.
yeah, I think that you are very soft and gentle. So
Yeah.
I think that it's better for you if your future wife is more stronger and powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's pray. Noah, welcome.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Happy New
Wow.
Year, Noah.
Happy New Year.
How are you
Yeah.
doing?
Good.
Oh,
Okay.
now it's a
I'm s-
vacation.
No, it just ended.
Oh,
Oh,
you
me.
just
just
ended.
ended.
Yeah.
So
So,
mine was just a measly 2 weeks. It wasn't much.
oh, for sure. 2 weeks is
Yeah.
for sure.
And I mean, summer break is our long break as
Oh,
opposed to Korea with the winter break that's longer. So,
Oh.
but yeah, sorry I was a little late. I was reading through the general director's message.
Oh.
It's because I'm
Wow. In North American Directors Conference.
Oh.
no, well, I think so.
Yeah.
Pastor Modest
Like-
Yun's message, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke 6,
Luke
9
6.
Oh,
through
God, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus
Mm.
called the 12 disciples. Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I was preparing that for Sunday
Mm.
or trying to.
Oh.
And then
Oh,
it just yeah.
Are you going to deliver the message this Sunday?
I mean, yes, but it's not really my
Yeah.
message. So I'm like I'm obviously gonna do it, but
Yeah.
I mean
Just read the
I won't
beginning.
say right.
Yeah.
oh, you will deliver the message.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Noah. Wow.
Wow, it's a wonderful thing. Huh?
Yeah. Very
Mm.
good.
I think this is the first message for you.
Yes.
Delivery
Wow.
message.
Good job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, first
Congratulations.
adult message, I'll say that. First adult
Oh.
message.
Good.
Because I did one at a CBF conference, which technically doesn't
Ah.
count, but
Mm.
it's a message nonetheless.
Yeah, full length, Wow, Sunday message. Wow,
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow. We are proud of our members. Our
Yeah.
General Jose delivered the message in Christmas worship service, and Noah will deliver the message in Minneapolis chapter 2. Good.
Wow.
Our group is the
Future leaders,
leaders.
Yeah.
Leaders field. Yeah, we
Yeah.
are very proud of you. I will pray for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. And I heard that your brother Hudson presided the worship service 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Good.
he's getting there.
Okay. I think that your father can be so happy.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
one is Noah, one is Hudson.
Mm.
Wow, such a great people.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that at the time,
Mm.
the names weren't even popular. At the time, the names weren't even popular. That's why he picked it. He picked the
Ah.
names because they weren't popular. But
Mm.
right as he picked the names, they got popular
Yeah.
for
Good.
both of us.
Yeah. Anyway, your names are great. So great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we respect them, still
Yeah.
respect them.
Yeah. People from all walks of life worked.
Mm.
They joined, they co-worked together.
Mm.
The whole world had to be repaired. If one part was left open, the whole world would be useless.
Yeah.
Building the world meant restoring their dignity and confidence. Yeah. As we studied last week, it had been broken for 160 years. So many years. Yeah. So it's very hard for anyone to start this work, but Nehemiah did. And even though there are obstacles, he started, and finally all the members joined. Yeah. Please take a look. It is the temple of God. The temple of God was rebuilt by the leader of Zerubbabel. And we can see in the book of Ezra. And it is the wall of Jerusalem. Wall of Jerusalem. The temple of God is most important. So there are so many gates. Fish gate and ship gate and mustard gate and east gate and horse gate and water gate and dung gate, and fountain gate. There are many gates, and the most important gate is the ship gate. This is ship gate. Through the ship gate, the people can enter the temple of God. Do you know why the gate name is the ship gate? They brought their sheep through this gate for offering, offering for sacrifice. At the time, in order to give offering to the Lord, they had to brought cow or sheep or dove. So through this gate, they brought the offering. So it is very important. It's very near.
Okay.
So we can see Nehemiah chapter 3, verse 1 and 32. Chapter 3, verse 1 says, Eliashib, the high priest, and his fellow priestess went to work and rebuilt the ship gate. They dedicated it and set its doors in place, building as far as the Tower of the 100, which they dedicate, and as far as the Tower of Hananel. It is the Tower of 100. It's the Tower of the Hananel. It is the ship gate. It's the most important thing. It's the nearest of the temple of God. So in the book I read that that part had been attacked by enemies. because through this part, the enemies can approach the temple of God.
Oh.
So this part was rebuilt through high priestess, the most important religious leaders.
Oh.
So we can realize that in order to serve God, the leaders should stand in the front line. In the war, in the past, the general should run by riding a horse and follow me. Yeah, and they dared to take a risk. It is very dangerous to stand in the front line. They can be attacked by enemies. Likewise, in order to serve God's work, the leader should show good example in praying, in fishing, and in writing reflection, and co-working and giving offering. Yeah. So in my ministry, I'm struggling to show good example for our church members, especially early morning prayer meeting and writing daily bread. Yeah. So I have to get up early in the morning every day. But yesterday I was late. So I was very shameful. So it's not easy to show good example. To be a leader is to be a lot. Yeah. But I think that it's a great privilege to be a leader and to be a lot and to show good example. Yeah. Because we can lead a lot of people and make a spiritual community. So it's a very amazing. Eliashib, the high priestess, and the fellow priestess went to work and rebuilt the sheep gate. When the Israelites degenerated, the religious leaders had been so corrupted. So God was angry, and God made the temple of God destroyed by the superpower nations, Assyria and Babylonia. But after returning to Jerusalem, the leaders became different and they changed. They showed good example by joining in rebuilding ministry in the front line. Firstly, it's very important. When we read Nehemiah chapter 3, it's boring because there are so many places and name, but it is mentioned about that gate name and the part. It's very long line. In order to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, it takes a long time. In the book of Ezra, they rebuilt the temple of God. It was difficult. But I think that it is more difficult for them to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. It's the long and it takes a long time. It's very more complicated. It is the East Gate and Mustard Gate and Horse Gate and Water Gate. It's the Gihon Springs. It is mentioned in Second Kings. King Hezekiah made the spring. So through this, it is connected to this pool of Shelah. you know, Israel, the water is very rare. So when the enemies attacked Israel, they surrounded this castle like that. When Babylonia attacked Jerusalem, they surrounded the area for 2 years. 2 years. So all the route for carrying food and water was cut. The food could not supplied. The enemies cut all the route for supplying the food. Food shortage. Because of it, at the time, they ate their children. Wow, it's miserable. So in the book of Chronicles and Kings, we can realize that they quarrel. One day we will eat your children, and the next day we'll eat our children. But the next day they did not give their children, so they quarrel each other. It's wow, it's miserable. Happening. So Hezekiah, at the time the Jerusalem had been surrounded by Assyria, Hezekiah made the Susan coming. So he made a well and spring. It's very famous, secretly. Here spring. Susan, welcome. Long time no see.
Hi, Sujan.
Yesterday I prayed for you and I wanted to call you up. It's a vacation. Please come. Our meeting is very small.
It's been a long time.
Good. It's a vacation?
Yes, I'm on vacation now.
How long?
Like 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks? Oh,
Yeah.
only 2 weeks. Oh.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. How about Coin community in Washington?
Oh, doing good. We just had a retreat last week.
Very good.
Good. Yeah. When I listen to the coin, it's the meaning of the coin, the dollar, or money coin.
It's short for koinonia.
Koinonia.
Koinonia. Yeah.
Fellowship.
Meaningful word.
Yeah, meaningful. Yeah. Yeah, all the people joined in the work. Yeah. Mr. William, did you join in building Namsan chapter?
Yeah, I was, after we finished, I offering money and, work together, but I left the Namsan Center to America.
Wow.
And then missionary David, make, the new church, and then I left to Louisiana.
You sacrificed.
In the pioneering stage,
Wow.
Till now,
Wow. You had been used in building ministry.
Yeah.
Wow, you are great. I think that you can be rewarded in the heavenly kingdom.
Yeah, I hope so.
You have stored a lot of things.
Yeah.
God is well done, William. I will give the crown.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in Annam Center, I worked very hard in building new center, and I came to Gwangju and I built new church. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you are builder,
yeah, my name is Nehemiah, so I am the builder.
That's why. Yeah. No wonder. No wonder.
Yeah.
You got a right name.
Yeah. All the people joined in the work. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. It's very wonderful. All the people worked very hard together. They had to sacrifice themselves, but joyfully they joined. I experienced that we joined in working at the time when we built the Anam Center. Most of the members were students.
Oh.
But every vacation we had the arbeit to make money for give.
Yeah, we did. 보배합. We call it 보배합.
We worked very hard. Yeah.
We collect a
And
lot.
we experienced the power of faith. So those members had been sent in the mission field as a missionaries.
Right.
So they don't have enough money, but they had learned the faith. They can do everything wherever they may go.
Yeah.
They do not worry anything. Yeah. From emptiness, we made a miracle. So we can try and we can challenge it, even though we don't have anything. Yeah. So I think that this generation needs to experience the power of God in challenging from nothing. Yeah. So all of you, please challenge it like that. Yeah. All the people joined in the work. Susan, what is the most difficult thing in making your members join in the work together in Washington, especially young people in Coin community?
I don't know. I think maybe.
I like Washington UBF, the church, the building that was also constructed by the church members, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
They work together. No, it's not.
I know that.
Yeah.
About 35 years ago, it was built firstly,
Yeah.
and it was extended more.
Extended, yeah. Later.
5 years ago or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe something like
I
that.
love your kitchen, huge kitchen in the area. I love it. So many people can see it.
It's
and
a big yard. Big
Yeah,
yard.
big yard also. Yeah, beautiful, church, Washington, UBF.
How many members in Coin Club?
Like maybe around 15 people.
50?
15.
15.
15.
15. Good. Yeah. Most of them are students.
Yeah, for the most part. Everyone in college.
When do you have a meeting? What day? Friday or
There's
Thursday?
also Friday, the same
Friday.
time as the Bible study. Friday.
Oh.
Friday. Yeah. In winter, do you have a meeting in the center?
No,
You
we
can
meet
have a meeting in person.
Online. Maybe.
During the semester, we met in person.
Oh.
But now because everyone is on break, we don't meet because on break.
That's why you join our Bible study. Yeah.
Okay. Noah. Hello, Noah. In your chapter, when do you have a personal meeting together?
Friday and Saturday, or Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. What do you do in Friday?
This?
Yeah.
Are you sharing testimony or
or Bible
pray
study?
together? Bible
Oh,
study?
just going through the questionnaire, kind of. It's with me and my dad, so it's not very like
Oh,
expansive out because we just it's not very expanded or extended because we just talk about it daily,
oh,
like just in normal life, so it's not necessarily needed.
fellowship meeting actually.
Yeah.
Sharing fellowship. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just more like a Bible study for the next message.
Oh.
Yeah. And I have attended in Minneapolis chapter 2 Bible study every Monday evening. And this week there was no Bible study because of the North America Directors Leaders Conference.
Oh.
And every Bible study, the messenger should lead the Bible study. The Bible study leader will deliver the message.
Oh.
But in this week, there's no Bible study, and Noah delivered the message. Yeah.
Ah, that's why he chose
Noah, when you listen to the message of General Director Moses Yoon, what was main point
of the message.
which touched your heart? Main theme.
I mean, it's kind of not in it, but it is. It's the idea that Jesus just chose 12 people. He didn't choose 100 people. He didn't choose 1,000 people that were his disciples, because we know he had multiple circles. Say there were the people. Obviously, there were more disciples than just the 12, but he focused more on the main 12. And just kind of that idea that God cherry picks by who he feels he wants to use. And it's up to the person he asks if they're ready. And as we know from the Bible, God knows when we're ready. It's the idea that we don't feel like we're ready or we're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, the idea that God chooses his people carefully. He knows everybody, so.
Yeah, Noah, aren't you amazed? You know, people he chose 12, how many hours he pray? All through night. Wow. He fight spiritually first against the devil, you know, through prayer.
Yeah.
Wow. I cannot pray all through night.
No.
I just figure, wow, it's amazing.
And neither.
Yeah.
And even for most of us, it's not like prayer is the first thing we think of. It's generally complain or wallow in your sadness. So it's like, so the obviously Jesus did pray a very long time, but it was also that always sticks out to me is that it's the first thing he does. He talks to God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that prayer is very important to be inspired by God, to get the wisdom from God. So it was the God's strategy to bring up small group, 12 disciples. In Old Testament, there was 12 tribes. 12 sons of Jacob became the foundation of Israel, and 12 disciples will be the foundation of new Israel. So I was very moved that all the members were different style. Why do you think Jesus called different style members?
Because you know,
I think it was.
Noah.
Oh yeah. No, you can go.
Because you know the disciples, you know, have to take care of many people, like Noah, people like Susan, people like Jose, people like Gloria, so many different kind of people in the world.
Yeah.
So we need a shepherd to take care of, you know, various people in the whole world, you know.
Yeah. Amen. I agree with you.
Yeah.
There are so many persons who have their own style. So Peter's style, only Peter can understand his style.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew's style and Thomas. I think that Matthew was a tax collector.
Yeah.
So who can understand the selfish tax collector?
Yeah.
So Matthew,
is major, you know.
yeah, he
Economic,
could
financial
understand,
major.
yeah, selfish persons. Yeah. So we need all kinds of people. Yeah. Jesus accepted them as they were, Yeah. So anyway, we expect Noah's message. After delivering the message, please post your message in our group. Noah. Good. Yeah.
Take a picture of you, you know.
Yeah. Chapter 4, opposition to the rebuilding. The Jews' enemies harassed and ridiculed them. Yeah. What are those feeble Jews doing? Will they restore their word? Yeah, feeble. Ridicule. Oh, it's too weak and feeble. Yeah. Tobiah the Ammonites, who was at his side, said, what they are building, if even a fox climbed up on it, he would break down the wall of stones. You know, fox is very light, small and light, not the coward elephant. Even a fox climbed up in the wall, he would break down. What are you doing? They ridiculed and maximized and ignored. It's a very discouraging. Satan works like that. Yeah. When we work something, oh, what is it? Too small, too feeble, too foolish. Yeah, it's the stretch of Satan. Have you ever experienced Satan's attack in working God's ministry? Suzanne, can you share anything in serving God's work? I heard that you are very active in working in Washington ministry.
Sorry, what was your question?
What was the difficult thing to cooperate and making the foundation, making the environment for the conference or something? There can be discouraging.
That you might think that devils did, something like that. It's definitely it's devil's, you know, Satan's work and something like that. Yeah.
Something.
But yeah, any.
when you work with a lot of people, everyone has a different opinion about what they think is right or right way to do things. So sometimes, like for example, I used to be on praise team. Some people would complain, oh, the songs you play are not, you need to play more fast beat songs, or like the songs you play are boring. Like a lot of comments like that. But you know, at the end of the day, it's not the type of song that brings praise to God, but it's really, it doesn't matter what kind of song we sing. We can bring praise to God through whatever song or environment, or like sometimes we're like, oh, well, how come there's no drums today, or like maybe you should add, you know, this instrument or something like that. But you know, in the end, like none of those things really matter.
Yeah, I can understand different opinions and complaining. Those who are active do not complain. Those who do not work, they complain and say a lot of things. Yeah. So we can be angry. Oh, I will not do that. Please, you have to do that. Yeah. So we can quarrel and fight. Yeah. It's the Satan's strategy, not to work, not to go ahead. Yeah. So we have to overcome the many difficulties, and especially outward threatening. The enemies, they had inhabited the land. They enjoy the privileges, a lot of things. But now Israelites returned, and they built a temple of God, and they wanted to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. It can be damaged to them financially and economically. So they were jealous of the working. Yeah. So they did not attack, verbal attacking, in order to discourage them to give up. Somehow give up. Don't do that. You will not fulfill and complete. So now please give up. It's a strategy. Yeah. It was very hard. At the time, what did Nehemiah do? It's easy for Nehemiah to quarrel and fight. But Nehemiah prayed. He prayed to God to deal with their enemies. Hear us, O our Lord, our God, for we are despised. Turn their insults back on their own heads. Give them over as a plunder in a land of captivity. Wow. When there are how many chapters in Nehemiah? Chapter 13. 13 chapters. I counted how many times Nehemiah prayed. 13 times. 13 times. Yeah. Wow. Every time he prayed. Before working, he prayed. So the book of Nehemiah starts with a prayer and ends with a prayer. So we can realize that in order to work for God's glory, we have to pray. Yeah, prayer seems to be powerless, but practically, prayer is the most important strategy. Yeah. Because fundamentally, the work can be done by God. We need God's help. For it, we have to pray. So Nehemiah was very wise, very wise. Yeah. He asked God's help. Oh Lord, hear us. We are despised. turn their insult back on their own heads. Please punish them. It's a satanic. Please. And give them over as plunder in a land of captivity. Yeah. The enemies ridicule the workers. Hey, what are you doing? It's feeble and meaningless. You cannot do that. Yeah, like that. Regaining their focus, the Jews gave their hearts to rebuild the wall halfway. Yeah. And then their enemies redoubled their efforts to give them trouble. Yeah. They tried to interrupt and bother the Israelites in working. However, Nehemiah was not discouraged. He led his people, and all the people followed Nehemiah. So following Nehemiah's lead, the people prayed and posted a guard. Wow. They joined in prayer and they posted a guard in order to protect themselves from attacking the enemies and verbal attacking or ridicule or scorn, anything. Yeah. To post a guard is very important. They did not stop. They posted a guard and they continued to work. The Jews asked Nehemiah to help them 10 times. Verse 12 says, there are 12 tribes. And the main tribe is Judas. Then the Jews who lived near them came and told us 10 times over, wherever you turn, they will attack us. Yeah. They had been exhausted and tired. So 10 times they appealed to Nehemiah. Oh, it's difficult. Oh, let's stop. 10 times they came to Nehemiah. But Nehemiah did not compromise. Nehemiah said to the people, don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your brothers, your sons, and your daughters, your wives, and your homes. Oh. Yeah. Don't be afraid of them. Nehemiah planted the conviction and faith in the hearts of the people. Don't worry. Don't be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, who is great and awesome, and fight for your brothers and sons and your daughters, your wives and home. At first, he fought against the fear in the hearts of the people by helping them to remember the Lord, who is great and awesome. God has worked already, so they could come back and they could be helped by the king, and they had been provided a lot of stuffs and instruments. Yeah. So the Lord has helped us, and He will make us fulfill this work. Yeah. It's very important. Fear is the main weapon of Satan. Yeah. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 Suzanne, do you have a Bible?
Yes.
2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. Would you please read?
For the Spirit God gives us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline.
The Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Yeah. Timid, fear. Fear is not come from the Lord. It comes from Satan. God gives us power, love, and self-discipline. Yeah. When we serve the work of God, the fear is the most difficult obstacle. If we overcome fear, we can do anything.
Yeah.
Anything. When we read 1 Samuel chapter 17, there was the Goliath. Goliath threatened all the Israelites. Yeah. Please come if you fight against me. At the time, Goliath was very big, so all the Israel soldiers were timid and fearful and afraid, so they hid themselves. Yeah. At the time, boy David came out and I will fight you. Who dare to despise the soldiers of our Lord? I will fight. Yeah. To the eyes of David, Goliath was a paper tiger. Paper tiger.
Oh my God.
So he fought with one stone. Yeah. He threw the stone. And Goliath, was he died. He was killed. Yeah. He overcame fear. He did not have any special weapon. It's a very ordinary weapon. It's an ordinary stone, which he throw away the wild animals when he shepherded flocks. Yeah. When our UBF ancestors pioneered the mission fields, there are so many obstacles. They don't have money. They could not speak English fluently. Yeah, they don't have a stable job, but they challenged. Yeah, then miracle happened. God blessed them. I think that this generation have so many good things. All of you can speak native language fluently. Yeah, you have a good environment. Yeah, you can do better things. Yeah, if you overcome the fear, you can make more wonderful things. But Satan tries to plant the fear in your hearts. Don't do that. You cannot do that. You don't deserve to do that. Yeah, like that. It's the whispering of Satan. We have to overcome the all kind of attack and threatening. Noah, you can deliver the message? You can?
Yeah, Satan did.
Yeah, it's the Satan's whispering. Yeah. Oh yeah, I cannot do that, but God can make me. Yeah. So for it we have to pray.
Yeah.
For I can do all things through him who strengthens me.
Oh, wow.
Good. Ah,
Full
hallelujah.
memorization. Yeah, amazing.
In
No.
God, in Jesus, we can do everything.
Yeah.
I cannot anything, but God can make me.
Through
All
him.
things through. Yeah. Remember the Lord. Remember the
Mm.
Lord redeemed his people from the captivity of Egypt. Yeah. We have to remember God's work. Until now, we have experienced God's power. Yeah. Satan tries to remember our failure. Remember our weak point. It's Satan's work. But the Holy Spirit helps us to remember God's work. God's work. Who is God? God is great and awesome. God is fighting for the enemies. And Nehemiah asked them to fight for the brothers, your children. Yeah. Fighting is necessary, fighting. In order to gain the victory, we have to fight. Yeah. Many people don't want to fight. But without fighting, we cannot gain victory. Fighting, it's not easy, but fighting is interesting. Yeah, fighting is interesting. Yeah. Jose, do you like fighting?
I do not.
In my
That's
church, there is one missionary candidate. He got an engagement with the Japanese shepherds. He has to go to Japan very soon.
Oh, to marry.
But he was very blessed. She's very faithful and she had a good job in a bank. If he go to Japan, he will be supported by the spiritual woman, but he hesitates. Oh, can I speak Japanese? Can I have a job in Japan? Can I survive in Japan? So I push him to fight. So I asked him to learn kickboxing. To learn a fighting spirit.
Yeah.
He's very tall, like a Goliath. Handsome and very tall. But his problem is timidity. He's too timid and too So he can do that. But before doing something, he hesitates and he's gripped by the power of timidity, I think. So every day, his father brings his son to our early morning prayer meeting and pray together and boost him and encourage him to fight. Yeah. I have a daughter. My daughter's name is Gloria, and his nickname is Challenge Kim.
Oh, another Gloria.
Yeah. She named her name Challenge. Oh, Susan, you know my daughter.
I do.
Oh, really?
She has a challenging spirit. Yeah. So even though she is not unqualified, he challenged at first, and later he think. Yeah, his challenging is necessary, I think.
Challenge Kim.
Yeah. Okay. They worked with one hand and a weapon in the other. Work with one hand and a weapon in the other. Yeah. Work in the hand and a weapon in the other. Yeah. Many people think that we can do only one thing, work while fighting. But in order to serve God, we have to do both of them. Yeah. We have to study and serve a praise team. Yeah. We can do that, both of them. Jose, you are working and Bible study.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. All of our missionaries are lay shepherds.
Yeah.
They have their own job. We are not professional pastors who are like that, but yeah, Missionary William is a professor and messenger.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can have two kind of things.
Yeah. Have to do to survive.
Yeah. Suzanne, what do you think about that? Work with one hand and weapon in the other.
Sounds very hard.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inconvenient, uncomfortable. Yeah. That's true.
But we can learn God's power when we serve two kind of things. In the ordinary time, everyone can do that. But in the difficult and dangerous situation, it's the good opportunity to learn God's power and God's.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can be multiple. Yeah, soldiers. Gloria.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Like working with the weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Studying and yeah, Bible studying and school studying and
Yeah. We have to
I
juggle.
think, like it might sound like overwhelming, but I think people get used to it because like if they have the desire to keep going on with both, like yeah, I think we need help with that. It's not so easy.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. Yeah. God grant us great potentialities. Yeah. We have a lot of potentialities. If we develop and exercise, we can increase our power and wisdom. Yeah. And Nehemiah tightened security and created a community watch. Yeah. Verse 17 says, those who carried the materials did their work with one hand and held the weapon in the other. And verse 18, and each of the builders wore their sword at his side as he worked. But the man who sounded the trumpet stayed with me. Why do you think, Nehemiah, the people to sound the trumpet? To play the trumpet is not related in work. Why do you think he made the man sound the trumpet?
It can be a signal, when to start, when to start, when to stop, what to do,
Oh,
If enemy is attack,
oh,
then
yeah.
we give a signal.
Mm,
And then
yeah. And warning and
let's
signal.
lunchtime, then
Uh,
time ahead. Yeah, right. Something.
oh, yeah, good opinion. Another function of trumpet is to boost their spirit. Yeah.
Oh, praise team.
Yeah, praise team.
Wow. Increasing people.
Praise is very important. Yeah. In the worship service. Due to the COVID-19, the government gave the direction in the worship service, don't praise loudly. So our worship service was very dry and boring. But now it is allowed it. So wow, we make a spiritual environment. And in the Christmas worship service, we cannot gather together. In the past, we had the choir, the Hallelujah. It was very encouraging. But now we cannot gather together and we cannot sing. But we did not give up. We made the Lanson choir. 50 members we gathered together and we made a video clip and we collected and we made the Lanson song. I posted this in the Facebook. Yeah, it was a very wonderful music. Yeah, through the praising, we can give glory to the Lord, and we can be boosted and we can be encouraged. So every morning before prayer, I sing a song, sing hymn book, sing hymn, 3 or 4 hymns. Then my heart can be warm. And so smoothly I can pray. So to play musical instrument is very important.
Yeah.
And verse 20, so we continued the work with the harp, the man holding spears, but the first light of dawn till the stars come out. Wow, it means that they worked very diligently. From the first light till the stars came out. Wow. They did not all day long.
Yeah.
Wow. They did not take a rest and they worked very hard from early in the morning to night. They devoted, they concentrated themselves. Total devotion. When we prepared the conference, summer conference and special conference, we spent all the night in Christmas worship service and like that. So we devoted ourselves. Verse 12:1, at the time I also said to the people, have everyone and his helper stay inside Jerusalem at night so they can serve us as guards as night and workmen by day and night. Through that we can realize that they worked very hard day and night, all day long, and all the people all day long, wholeheartedly. So they fulfilled the ministry of rebuilding. It's a kind of a war, spiritual battle. I think that in this generation, we have to rebuild spirituality. Many young people are wandering here and there. They do not faith in God, and they are seeking for pleasure and they are slave of sins. So the spiritual world has been broken and collapsing down. Who can restore, rebuild spiritual identity? Yeah, I think that this generation needs Nehemiah. All of us, we have the Nehemiah's spirit, rebuilding spirit. It starts from prayer. First the prayer, and he encouraged these people not to worry about enemies, to remember God himself. And he helped them to fight. Fight inwardly, outwardly. Fight against the fear, fight against enemies. Yeah. So even though they attacked verbally, they did not attack practically. When we read Torah, we can realize that they threatened, but they did not attack. Yeah. So we need not worry about our opposition. If we have faith in God, God will help us. God will bless us to fulfill the work of God. So many young people do not try. They do not fight. They compromise. They submit and they surrender. So they became very lazy, and it's very we have to participate in the fighting and rebuilding ministry. If one man rise up like Nehemiah, other people can follow in each chapter. If there's one Nehemiah. When I came to Gwangju 10 years ago, it was very turmoil and difficult situation. So I was fearful. At the time, some enemies tried to attack me and go back to Seoul and don't interrupt in this ministry. At the time I slept in the church. At first I came and my family members did not move together to me. So I hesitated to stay here or go back to Seoul. But I prayed honestly every early in the morning. And God granted me courage. And we could break through, and we could build a very gorgeous new church, and we have succeeded. God helped us, and later many people who are watching, they joined one by one, and we experienced God's power. Amen. So if we stay in the front line ahead, God will bless us. Okay. Jose, what did you learn from this passage?
I was really much encouraged by Nehemiah. He said not to fear, remember God. So yeah, I'll take that with me, to remember God. Keep my eyes focused on Him and building the wall of Jerusalem.
Yeah, you can make a new history in Texas Arlington. It's a big state.
Texas is huge.
Yeah, I pray that you may be a history maker in Texas. Yeah, Noah, what did you learn from today's passage?
One thing I learned was, like, one thing that stuck out to me was always like when God always oversees obviously his plans, and to give Nehemiah the say direction or wisdom, whichever one it may have been, to have these workers have a weapon as with them. So this, in the simplest way, he protected the people, his people, his covenant people, and he taught them, or tried to teach them of trusting in him, because of course people threatened, as we have mentioned, but they never laid a finger on him. And that was what I learned from it. It was kind of like during Moses' time, it was God was always with the Israelites, even though they were complaining and all that, but in the end they were God's chosen people. So yeah, just, and more personally for me, there's no reason to not trust God. Like, no matter how many excuses I make, there's just not one good enough to say I can't just take 5 minutes out of my day to pray to God and ask for what I want or need. So that's kind of what I learned from this.
Good. Yeah. Thank God. And Gloria, what did you learn from today's passage?
I think I learned that having a good spiritual leader is really important. And that we don't have to be afraid of our enemies, but always like pray to God, so he gives us like the wisdom to fight the enemies. Yeah. That's it.
Good. Susan?
Yeah, that we have nothing to fear when God is with us.
Good. Okay. Thank you, all of you. I will pray, and after prayer, let's take a picture. Yeah. Yeah. Heavenly Father, thank God for blessing today's Bible study. There had been a lot of obstacles in rebuilding the wall of Jerusalem. Satan, the enemies threatened them to stop the working, but Nehemiah did not give up. He prayed to the Lord, and he helped his people to remember the Lord, who is awesome and powerful and almighty, and he helped them to fight for their family members. Then all the people worked together, and they fought against enemies, and they worked at the same time. So God blessed their cooperation and co-working and their fighting. Heavenly Father, before us, we have a lot of obstacles, but if we depend upon God, God will help us to have a victory. Please grant us conviction and assurance that God gives us victory. In 2022, we have key verses and prayer topics. Please help us to fight to the end until we may gain the victory. Thank you. All this I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, Susan, can you take a picture? Gloria and Noah, please show your face. Good. Gloria. Wow, good. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more.
Okay, one more.
Smile.
1, 2, 3.
Good. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Susan, please post the picture, room. Okay, I'll pray for you.